All right. So Tyree Wilson. I have my dog with me. Okay, go. So yeah, if any interruptions might be because of him. But Tyree Wilson, interesting prospect, long length. Texas Tech, edge rusher. Try to get as much of the screen as I can. Okay, that should be fine enough. It's gonna be empty space, but gonna watch the Baylor game and then TCU. The Baylor game's a bit weird because of Baylor's offense. So when looking at edge rushers or any prospects, you want to understand what the offense is doing as well as the defense. So this game's kind of weird. Baylor's offense likes to uh, attack the edges a lot, but they like to run out to the edge. So, whoa. So it's not really like a normal offense. So it's kind of harder. I'm gonna try to skip some plays. I have quite a few written down, but yeah, there's not as much like translatable plays. Okay. So yeah, here's one of them. Okay. So he's on the edge here on the right hand side. Play starts, boom. And he's just getting blocked by a tight end. He kind of goes around blocks in this game quite a bit. He doesn't always do that, but against Baylor, he does it quite a bit. So this is kind of part of why you have to watch multiple games and understand what they're doing, because yeah, he just goes around the blocks, which isn't what you always want to do. So I thought that was a bit noticeable. And here he's on the front side of the play. He gets pushed quite a bit, but this is kind of just Baylor's offense. There's it's not even really zone blocking. It's just full out sprinting, just pure sprint outs. And you're not going to really see this in the NFL as much. It's why it's a bit tougher to see this as good NFL tape. Here, Tyree Wilson gets a free run at the quarterback and just misses him. I mean, it's a good blitz, or not really a blitz, but good movement here. And yeah, he just barely misses him too. And he also has good length. Okay. And so yeah, with a prospect like him, where the main thing is his length, you want to see him use it a lot. You want to see him using it against the pass, against the rush, because it's kind of hard to teach it. He's a bit, I don't want to say frail, but he's kind of thin for his frame. It's not too much of a concern. He's fine at playing inside and outside. Here he is on the right. Kind of a 3-tech here. And boom. Yeah, just a double team, kind of hard to beat. But main thing we want to see is get off. We'll try to watch it here. Boom, ball snap. And as you can see, the nose tackle's off the ground. And ball's out even further. The other DT or DN on the left side's off the ground. And Tyree Wilson hasn't moved. So you might think, is that a cause for concern? But if you watch it play out, he's not watching the ball. The other DTs are watching the ball, but he's moving based off of the guard's movement. So his get off isn't slow. It's just he's not always watching the ball, which it's a bit weird when you're lined up as a DT because you're closer to the ball. But yeah, he's just watching the guard's shoulder. So yeah, it's a little bit interesting. Tries to get just his arms inside a guard and just gets pushed by the tackle. But I noticed that and just a bit confused. So here, ball snap. Doesn't really react till the tackle reacts. He's really good at knifing in between blocks because of his size. He's not too wide. And he's kind of I just don't want to say he's thin because he's not, but here he gets kind of like tripped up, which happens. But yeah, so it's a bit tough because like with get off, you would like to see him watch the ball because sometimes, especially in the NFL, like tackles and guards, like they know when the ball is gonna be snapped. They know like when to time it just right to where they could get a step ahead of the defensive player. And it might look like offside sometimes, but they just know how to time it just right. So when you're going up against NFL tackles, especially in pass rushing situations, you don't want to be a step behind because you're not going to win as much in the NFL. So it's a little bit worrying. You really don't want to see him watching the lineman for his cue. And yeah, I mean, here, yeah, the linemen are all shifting towards his side. So you're going to get two guys on him. And you just kind of see him just extending his arms using his length, which is a good sign. Like at least he's using his God-given gifts, which is something you'd want to see. Alright, so he's down here. And then, yeah, I mean, this is like part of it. Because he's so long, the reason why teams kind of look for length sometimes with the ends. If you're long, whether you're rushing from the outside or inside, and you could just extend your arms, you can knock guys off balance. And it's a lot easier to do that when you have longer arms compared to shorter arms, because if someone with long arms hits you and they're able to extend their arms, you're just going to be, like, you're unbalanced. It's going to be hard to block these dudes in. We're going to see it here. So they all take a step inside, and Tyree Wilson is just going to get inside the guard's shoulder pads and bench press him. Bah! I mean, that's just such a good. I want to see it from the wide view real quick. So he's here versus inside. Bah! Just able to extend it. And I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see him to be able to use his length. So that's a fun thing to notice. Let's see. Okay, so oops. Alright, so wide view, and he's on the right side here. Boom. Ball snap, and he just gets off just really slow. But it's not his get off, it's just his eyes. Boom, ball snap. He hasn't taken a step forward. All the other defensive linemen have taken a step forward. But he moves when the tackle moves. I think he's watching the tackle's shoulders, or the lineman's shoulders, which it's just not what you're supposed to do. So that's a bit worrying if it's something he's taught or something he's never been coached out of. But yeah, so it's why he looks a bit slow off the line sometimes. But here, I mean, this is what you want to see. A tight end tries to block him, he just gets him out the way, and the tackle has to come and help. So yeah, if you put a tackle to block him, might not be the best thing. And so kind of lost track of him. Okay, so front side. I mean, here it's a pretty good play. So he's here he's getting blocked by 65. 65 has like pretty good control, but since he's long enough, he could just escape from it. Hey, come down. And that's kind of where the length plays in the part. Helps with the pass, helps against the run. So it's always good to see that. And this one's kind of weird. So he's on the right side. You have the two tight ends. The pole's kind of blocking him. But Baylor's offense is a bit weird. So here's kind of an inside zone look. And he doesn't really set the edge at all here. And because of that, running back sees that. boom, it's able to just get a huge gain. And I'm not really sure why. Like, the tight end does a good job of pushing him inside and just sealing him off, which isn't what you really want to see. I don't know if Baylor's tight ends are good, or if they're like good blockers, but it's something you see quite a bit in this game. He's just, I don't know. I'm just not exactly sure why, but happens a couple times where he just gets caught up. So he's on the left now, and here's the tight end again, just getting a good block on him. All right, so now he's looks like a 3-tech a bit. And with good edge guys, you just want to see him punishing tight ends. He did so on that one pass play. All right, so here, number 19 on the right. This is one of those weird plays where, this is what I mean, where some stuff's part of the scheme. So they all move to the left. I don't know what each team calls it, but it's just a step to the left, and then you react to it. So he does that, and I'm not sure what his gap responsibility is, because all the D linemen shift to the left and the linebackers shift to the right. But yeah, so he gets kind of sealed off here, but it's not his fault. It's part of the scheme. So you could just blame the play caller there. I mean, it happens. And all right, here he is. Tight end tries to block him, and he just gets him out the way and makes the tackle. I mean, that's part of his length too. Like, he's so long. Like, if you're the running back, like, boom, you just see this long ass dude who's able to just get a grip on you. And then, yeah, top of the screen, you have 2 tight ends that he's lined up in front of. So yeah, here he just kind of does a bit of a long arm, or shows a long arm. Doesn't really do a move off of it, but yeah. This is one play where I don't really get, because there's no shift with a defensive line. You don't see him shifting towards the step, and I'm not sure if they're trying to do like a tackle end loop or like a stunt, because teams will blitz on run play. Like, teams will have run play blitzes and pass play blitzes. This is just one play where I'm just not really sure what he's doing, because he just goes inside of the tackle, and there's no one outside of you. Could be a stunt. I'll just chalk it up to something that I'm not sure what's going on. I think this was a good play. So bottom of the line. And yeah, I mean, here he gets good control of the tight end. Gets number 8. Number 8's kind of like, I have no idea if he's a good blocker or not, but he's been good at blocking Tyree Wilson in this game. And here he just, inside control, just pulls him away and is able to make the tackle. So that's kind of all I want to show. This game was a bit iffy, but it's how Baylor's offense is. They just do a lot of like tosses and just runs where the linemen are just flat out sprinting. They're not even like zone blocking. They're just legit sprinting. So he plays a lot differently than you might expect. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of part of it. All right, so first play of the game against TCU, and with prospects, you kind of want to see how they do against good competition or good teams and good offenses. Just to see kind of like how they play it. So let's see, first play of the game, and not much there. I mean, Max Duggan's kind of a good college quarterback. I'll give him some credit. So, oh yeah, get off. So I believe this game was after Baylor. I could be wrong though. I wasn't paying attention. Boom, ball snap. I mean, this DT has pretty solid get off, which makes sense. He's in front of the ball, but he does a decent job. Tries to establish a long arm, and the tackle kind of like he doesn't have a good grip on him. It's why the tackle gets pushed back a lot. So he puts his long arm, bah, and he's off balance. And that's where Tyree Wilson's length comes in. Like, even though the tackle's in control, he's still off balance. And it's because of Tyree Wilson's length. He's able to just extend his arm. And it's so hard to just get your hands on him. That's a pretty big hit. All right, now he's at the bottom of the screen, rushing against the other tackle. Doesn't do too much there. And here he tries a, it looks like he tries to swipe the hand. Yeah, so he tries to swipe his hand and get his wrist, but I think he misses, and so he tries to rush inside. But I mean, that's what you like to see. You just like to see him do various moves. There's just a couple of moves he does in this game that is interesting. So against Baylor, you know, they're all like the blocks aren't even like NFL type blocks. They're just sprinting. Here against TCU, it's a lot better to watch because they're going to do more, just more stuff that's translatable to the NFL. So here he is on the left side, 3 tech here, and so they do play a lot of like 5 guys in the box, but you have a couple of linebackers outside. So the responsibility is a bit different. Here he gets double teamed. He doesn't give up too much ground, which is good. And boom, 3 tech again. And yeah, this is kind of like part of it because he's knifing inside the blocks. So they're going to pull. Here, they're pulling the tackle and guard, and everyone else is down blocking. So his job is to knife down. All 3 of the D linemen knife down, and the 3 linebackers fill in. So that's part of what they're doing against TCU's offense, because TCU likes to do this a bit where they'll pull the guards a lot, especially 2 guards. And since they have 6 guys in the box, you're just able to let the D line just take on the down blocks and have the 3 linebackers fill in the 2 pulling blocks. So yeah, so that's kind of why you want to like understand what the offenses are doing and the defense is doing, because if you watch that and see Tyree Wilson like knife inside, you might think it's not a good play, but it is. So here, 4th down, he's on top, and I mean just game record. In my opinion, Tyree Wilson's one of the best players I've seen when he's not blocked, which sounds a bit crazy, but he's so good, especially on like backside plays where he's not getting blocked, and he just knows where to go. And he takes such good angles too. So here, pulling the fullback or whatever he is, and the tackle kind of just chips him a bit as he goes to the linebacker, and Tyree Wilson just gets a free run to the running back. His responsibility is not the quarterback, which means just boom, attacks. And it's just so crazy how fast he does it. All right, so 3rd and 6, new drive. And this is one that's, I'm not exactly sure what he's doing, but when you watch it slowly, just chops his feet, goes inside, and it looks like he tries to knock the offensive tackle's arms down and then just get his arms off of him. So the one thing that's kind of a good sign is that he's attacking offensive linemen's arms and hands. Like, he knows he's not just doing a move, he's actively doing these more advanced moves, because anyone could just club and rip, but very few guys are effective at it. And yeah, he's not just like, hey, come down. He's not just like attacking a full guy, he's attacking half a guy, which is always what you want to see from an edge guy. It's so much easier if you're pass rushing against half a guy than the full guy. And he does it here, attacking the hands, which is something you kind of notice, which, yeah, he's not really, I wouldn't say he's a refined pass rusher, but there's so much like good things to notice. Like, it's nice to see him working different moves and even like some of these advanced moves Okay, so here he is. He's knifing inside. Okay, so this is one of those plays where if you didn't understand what their job is, you might think it's bad because he's knifing inside the blocks. So it's kind of it's a zone play, zone or duo. I don't know offense, but what they're doing is he knifes inside, and then you have the DT and the linebacker. It should have been just the linebacker just coming in and filling in, but I don't know what the DT is doing. The guard's just watching this happen, and yeah, the running back finds a crease. So yeah, I mean, Tyree Wilson did his job, knifing, and he's good at that. So yeah. This is kind of a bit of an odd play. Gets a sack here. So yeah, he's on the right. He's rushing, gets a long arm in, and this is one of those plays where I don't think it's Tyree Wilson winning as much as so this is part of why length matters sometimes. He's able to get a long arm in. The tackle gets off balance, and to try to gain control, the tackle chops his arms, which brings Tyree Wilson closer. But since he's so long, the tackle just ends up losing balance and losing control, and he gets pushed back into where Tyree Wilson gets a sack. And so if Tyree Wilson wasn't as lengthy as he was, he might have been just chopped down or wouldn't get the sack. So that's like one of the examples where even though it's not a true win, he's able to just get production, get pressure because of his length. Okay. All right, so left side right here. Like a zone to the right side. And I mean, he just fights through the tight end. He's kind of just like knifing down. And the tight end does kind of a good job of just squaring him up and just getting in front of him. But I mean, length, just able to just fight through it. I should probably have notes when I do this because, yeah, for this one I just have length. Okay, so on the left side, do a play action. They pull the guard, and he just extends his arm, gets a long arm in, and I mean, look at the pressure. Just bah. Even though it's not a great starting point, he just extends his arm, and this is like a true long arm, getting his arm inside the puller's chest, and he tries to like pull him back in to reestablish control. But if you do that against Tyree Wilson, like you're just pulling him into the quarterback and incomplete pass. So that's all on Tyree Wilson. Oh yeah, I remember this play. So he just gets chipped here. It's they fan out to him. So the protection call, they're just fanning out towards Tyree Wilson, which is another good sign. If college offenses are shifting their protection towards you, like that's just a good sign. So they shift the guard and the tackle towards them, and then the running back just chips them. And yeah, like, this is one of those plays where like you might think it's a double team. It's not a true double team. It's just a protection call, but the fact that they're calling a protection call towards your side is good. And here, all right, this is kind of perfect. Another example of his length. It's not really a ghost move. He's like trying to chop his arms. Hey, come in. So it's not a ghost. I don't know if it's really a ghost move or a rip. Because with the rip, you want his arms inside. And as you rip through, you could either just keep going or pull his arms and make the offensive lineman off balance. But here it just looks more he's trying to just knock his arms down. And we'll just watch it again. So here, boom. lifts up his arms. Not a rip. He's trying to knock it down and get around. But one of his weaknesses is his hips aren't great. He's not that bendy. He's good at using his length, but he just doesn't have the bend. And I just saw the receiver there. Hold on. Hey, come down. Yeah, sorry about any interruptions. Okay. Alright, so bottom of the screen. And he just pancakes the tight end, like gets underneath them and just boom. Just a great play. Okay. Yeah, and just a huge run here. Okay. So here he's kind of playing these blocks a bit differently. So they're not really like doing any movements. It's just straight up. And he does a decent job of extending his arms, trying to get some control, but running back finds the gap. And in this view, so yeah, he's on the right side going up against the tackle. They're pulling the guard and tackle like they've done a couple times in this game. And here it's a little bit different. So when this happens, you play this differently. So he's responsible for, I'll just go back to here. Okay, so he's responsible for the B gap here. But when one guard pulls, suddenly the B gap becomes the A gap because the guard pulls and everything shifts over. When they pull over two guys, the B gap ends up being the weak side A gap. So the B gap is the other side of the tackle as the gap shift over with the pulls. And you don't just want to fight over for the correct gap. You just want to just get control and try to make life easier for the linebackers as possible. So yeah, this linebacker takes on a pulling block. You have this linebacker who's free. And even though this isn't technically Wilson's gap, you still want to be in control and limit as much room as possible. And yeah, it's not all on Wilson, but you kind of want to see him play it better. Okay. Yeah, so here he is on the inside again, 3 tech. And it's good that he plays different positions and plays on different sides. A couple of dudes I've watched will like play the same position, same side. So guys that can switch, that's even better. Tries to work a move, and here he tries to extend his arms, but the tackle does a good job of not letting Wilson be able to extend his arms and just use his length. So it's a rep he lost, which, yeah, can't be perfect all the time. And then we'll see what happens here. So he's on the left. He's rushing, and he kind of almost does the same thing where he's not really working a move. He's just trying to get his hands inside and maybe like extend it. He isn't able to there though. All right, top of the screen. And yeah, I mean, when I say he's the best player when he's not blocked against runs, here's another example. So here, boom, the same play that they love doing, down blocking with the front side lineman and then pulling the 2 backside linemen. And this time, he's not a 3 tech guy. They're running more of a kind of like normal splits, and just boom. The crazy thing too is I think he's responsible for the quarterback, because like look, he's watching the quarterback. So the running back's not even his responsibility, but he's still able to just boom make the tackle. Hey, come down. Well, dog sometimes. That's kind of a nothing play. All right, top of the screen, and yeah, here he kind of tries to use that move again. I mean, not really. Like he almost gets it's just a basic rip here, because yeah, the running back kind of just flares out this way, and he expected contact, so he just tries to just get around him. That's just a word play. All right, bottom of the screen. Oh, here he gets a free run at Max Duggan and just blindside. Because yeah, they blitz everyone. He's free, and I mean, he looks quick here, so that's a good sign. Okay, and fast forward a bit more. Okay, so here he is on the left side now, and since they're doing a bunch of movement, he just tosses the tackle, or I mean the tight end. Just look at the size difference. He's just almost towering over him, and he just gets him out the club, uses his length, just extends his arms. It doesn't make the tackle, but I mean, it's what you want to see. All right. Oh yeah, nothing here. Okay, so top of the screen here. Fights through a combo block, and this one was a bit weird because I'm assuming he's supposed to set the edge and be responsible for the D gap, but he gets caught inside. He's kind of been terrorizing the tight ends. So yeah, like he tries to knife in here. So it's one of those things where I don't know if that's his responsibility or if the outside, this will be the D gap. If the D gap's the linebacker's responsibility, but gets caught up, and yeah, they get a good gain. Okay. So all right, he's the DN on the right side, and he's just they're gonna blitz the outside linebacker. He's gonna just rush straight to the guard, and the guard just gets off balance and barely has any control until the center helps him. I mean, this one's good too. Like, he almost makes the tackle here. He gets stopped a bit by Max Duggan because here his responsibilities as a quarterback. He's going to be the outside guy. Everyone else fits in, gets the running back, reads him, and just rushes. Bah! And he's so long. Like, this is where his length plays in the run too, because he's so long. He just reaches out, dives for you, and he'll affect you. Yeah, I mean, where is he at? Okay, top of the screen. They pull. He attacks the guard, and for some football stuff, every team will teach you to attack pullers differently. So once you see down blocks, sometimes they teach you to be tight across the line, or maybe give up a little bit of space so the linebacker could fill. But the linebacker gets blocked, so I don't know. I'm not saying it's on Tyree Wilson. Maybe he's playing it the way that he's getting coached to, but it's kind of interesting thing to see. And here. So, boom. Down block, pulling the guard and the tackle. Just lowers his shoulder, and just the running back thinks he's blocked or something. I just want to watch that again. I mean, this is like, this is kind of what I expected him to do on the other play where the guards pulled and he had to attack the puller. I mean, this is just teach tape. Notice the down blocks, stay close to the line of scrimmage, don't rush too much upfield, and just push him back into the play. And I mean, that's just great. Here he doesn't make a tackle, but I mean, like, you're gonna have this dude block Tyree Wilson, just barely gets a hand on him. This doesn't even affect him. And I mean, Tyree would have made the tackle if it wasn't for the other guy. Okay, almost done here. TCU wins this game though. Same thing. Here, so Tyree Wilson, left side. He's not responsible for the running back. It's the outside backer. Texas Tech, so Texas Tech's defense, they switch it up a lot. Sometimes Tyree Wilson's responsible for the quarterback. Sometimes he isn't. Depends on their alignment, their formation and all that. So he's responsible for the running back, and he just attacks. Boom. And it's crazy because, like, he's probably not even moving, like, crazy fast. Or, I mean, he's probably not, like, running, like, sprinting full speed. Like, he's running, but it's not full speed. Hey, calm down. And so, he just makes it look easy, like, how much ground he gains. And then this will be the last play. I mean, this is just great, too. Like, this tight end just lost so much battles against Tyree Wilson. Tries to block him on a zone, or tries to reach him. And I mean, Tyree Wilson just extends his arms and he just can't block him. But yeah, so overall, not really sure what to say about Tyree Wilson. He's good. I see it. It's just hard to compare him to, like, other draft prospects. Like, I think about Gregory Rousseau, and Rousseau was, like, not that good against the run. He was a super lengthy prospect, kind of like thin too, and he was taken in the first round. He's been serviceable, and I think of guys like Jadeveon Clowney or Leonard Floyd. I've seen that comp a few times. I think Tyree Wilson's around somewhere around there, like a Leonard Floyd, or it's kind of hard to compare to I'm just stumbling my words. Jadeveon Clowney, but yeah, I mean, he looks good. Like, I see it. There's some nice pass rush, just like intricacies that you could kind of notice with them, and I mean, he's good against the run. Like, he's not gonna be consistently, like, destroying blockers, but he just knows what to do. He knows how to use his length, which is what you want to see. If you're that long, you gotta know how to use it, and it's a weapon. So whatever team gets him, it's gonna get a good player. I'm not sure where he would fit. I can't think of, like, a good defense he would fit in. Who knows? I mean, like he would fit in with Buffalo for sure. Probably a bit more of a 4-3 defense, but he could kind of shift around and do different things. So yeah, good player, good prospect. And yeah, if you're here this far, thank you for watching, and hopefully you watch again. So peace.